Hello and welcome to the Money Compass.
In each episode, we will be preparing you for your journey through the world of finance and helping you tick off the destinations on your financial itinerary.
Pack your bags and prepare for takeoff as you navigate your way to financial success.
So hello everybody and welcome to the latest Money Compass podcast episode with our guest expert today is Jo Soley from Bizology, and she is like the expert on numerology, and I've had a delight of working with Jo over the last few months, learning all about my numbers. So Jo, please introduce yourself to everybody and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Thank you, Julie. Thanks. So my name's Jo Soley. I'm a business coach and I use the power of numerology to help you elevate your business success. And we know that there's no cookie cutter approach in business, right? What will work for you won't work for me. And we can see what will work for us in business through the powers of our numbers. So numbers are innate, they're deep, they're cosmic, they're inherent, they're fundamental of form. Nothing in life happens without numbers. And then we can translate that and then use that to our business, because nothing happens unless we align to our numeric energies. Sometimes in business, we can feel like we're pushing a cart up a hill, and that might be because we're using somebody else's 7-step system, which works for them, but it will work for them in alignment with their numbers. So what using numerology in business does is help you use what you're here to do and in the world, and do it with ease and flow. Of course, you know, nothing of worth comes easy. You've still got to work, but it helps. It just kind of makes you realize that you're here to do something nobody else can do, and what you're here to do can be found in your numbers.
No, fantastic. So when we say numbers, what do we look at? Is it just like your date of birth, or is there lots of other things that we can look at as well?
So the numbers that we use are 1 to 9, 11 and 22. Sometimes we use 33. 11, 22, 33 are master number energies. 75% of what's going on in your life and business is your life path number. It's also called your destiny number. I don't call it that. It sounds a bit woo-woo, but it's your life's path. It's what you're here to do. Right. So for Julie's a 9, the humanitarian, and I'm a 1, which is all about innovation and uniqueness. Okay, so we can't change our date of birth, right? It's impossible. You can change your name, and when you change your name, you change your life, but you can't change your date of birth. So this life path number, which is made up of your whole date of birth, is 75% of what's going on. But it's easier to be the date of the month that you're born on. So Julie's born on the 10th, and the 0 amplifies the 1, and 1 is all about leadership. So it's very easy for Julie to hang out in the leadership energy, which is great. We see that with her in her business. We see that with her, how successful she's been in her business. But the 9 is the destiny. The 9, humanitarian, helping people, holds all the magic, right? I'm born on the 4th. Of the 4th, I'm like a dog with a bone, but that's not gonna get me my juice. Lists, working hard, graft, all of that, even though it serves me and I enjoy it, my trick is to get into my 1. So there's 5 key numbers that we look at. It goes a lot deeper. But one of the main things that I work with people is this 9-year cycle, because there's better years and easier years to do things. And these years start on your birthday and they peak halfway in and then they tailor out. So I'm in a 4-year, great. Nothing's happening quickly. It's about bricks and mortar. I've just bought a house, and it's about writing a list and working through it. The universe shines the light on anything that's weak in structure. Julie's in an 8-year at the moment. So it's like, go, travel, success, high standards, quality, awards. You've won so many awards lately. You've birthed your book. You've had lots more things happening in the business. This is a dynamic year. So every year, if you understand what year you're in, again, instead of pushing the cart up a hill and thinking, oh, why isn't business working for me this year? You can kind of go with the flow a little bit more.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense. That's really good. So you said there's 5 numbers. So obviously there's a life path, which is your date of birth.
Yeah. And then there's the approach number, which is the day that you're born on, like you're born on the 10th and I'm born on the 4th.
Yeah.
There's an ultimate goal, which is ultimately what you're here to do in your life and business. There is a link number, which is a number that links everything together. And then there's a power number. That can be a bit confusing. That's kind of what we do one-to-one. But one of the main things we look at, not just the personal years, which, you know, are really insightful, is your name. Because words are spells. That's why we call it spelling. So your J for Julie and J for Joe is the 10th letter of the alphabet. And J, look at the J, it's like really strong and like, leave me alone and we'll do it on our own and we're really independent. Bottom of the J sometimes needs support. We will need team. We need to inspect what we expect, etc. But your whole name will vibrate at an energy. So I'm seen as a 3, right? 3 is very leopard print, you know, my branding, the teals, the pinks, podcasts, quite good on stage, but I'm not very 3. I'm very 1. I'm very independent, 48, never married, no children. I'm very 1 energy. But how we're seen in business, because it's all under the level of consciousness, is really important, because then you can go, that's how I look, or that's how my business looks, or that's how my book title looks, or that's how my product and services look. So then you can attune to that energy. So it's all going to happen anyway. We're just shining a light on it to make it more conscious.
Yeah.
So this 8 year, how's it felt for you, Julie, being in an 8 year? You're nearly at the end of it, aren't you? Because your birthday's in Feb.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, we've just had our year end and we've just had our best year ever. So that's been really, really good. We've won 2nd year running the Small Medium Business of the Year award. And we just got we're finalists in the Norfolk Business Awards for 2 categories. So, and the book as well. So there's lots of things been happening. So it's been really good from that respect. I think it's been a really positive kind of, from a business point of view, year. We've grown a really good team. There's a great group of people around us, and which we're still trying to grow. Yeah, so it's been really, really positive from that respect. So, you know, I think from an 8 year, we've basically rock and rolled it.
Excellent. And has it helped knowing that even though you were like nailing it, because 8's nailing in business and you do as well, because, you know, your 9 is very visionary, and then you've got that 10 approach, which is leadership. Did it help to know that you were in that year?
It did. And it kind of all made sense as well. So when we first talked about it, it was an 8 year. I'm like, you know what, this is going to be a good year. And it was a good year, and that's been really, really positive as well. And I think knowing that is really good, and also knowing what next year is going to be, it kind of makes sense of where we're going to be going forward and different things that are happening. And, you know, with a 9 year being obviously being completely different to an 8 year, it's going to be interesting of looking what goals we have for next year and what things we're looking to achieve. So it does make you think about things slightly differently.
Yeah, definitely, because you can't bat 100 all the time, and you need that ebb and the flow and the growth and the consolidation. And like the wheel of life has different energies, you know, different like chi segments, little spoke for relationships or money or social. Then these years, like 1 year is good new beginning year, a good spiritual year, another year is a good communication year. So then you can align to those energies.
Yeah.
So you'll actually quite enjoy a 9 year, even though it's about endings and completion and helping people. What do we do when we need help? We ring 999. You are a 9. So in a way, you'll be in your element, because every year you get the chance to feel what it's like to be in that number, and you are a 9.
No, definitely. Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see how that works. So yeah, and I'm looking forward to obviously not wishing away my year with my 8, because obviously I've still got just shy of 2 months to go of an 8 year. So, but yes, so definitely it's going to be interesting what my 9 year holds for me.
And the tide is in, the tide is out, the tide is in, the tide is out. So in an 8 year, we want to deliberately, consciously and intentionally squeeze every last drop drop of it out.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Something that you and I did as well was to look at your team. And I'm actually coming, aren't I, in January to see them. We were looking at compatibility, and that's something you can really do in numerology. You can really look at, okay, so what's going on for this team member and how are they performing and do they need any support? So that's quite interesting as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it was interesting to see how the team will fit in. It was very good.
And what's going on for them with regards to their personal years, because nobody's come up with a little flag saying you're in a personal year maybe 7 and it's quieter, and there might be a really good performing staff member and then suddenly things are a bit slower and you might think what's going on, but this kind of shines a light on a few bits and pieces.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it helps to basically see, you can see what other people's years. So it'll be interesting to see as well what they get from the session as well. And they've all been really interested in talking about what their life paths are and looking at what their years are. So that's been really fascinating to do with them. So
excellent. Yeah, I look forward to that. Not long, actually, January.
It's not long at all. No, definitely. It's probably about a month's time, really, isn't it? So the time just goes so, and obviously that it does fly by. So definitely.
I think what the personal years help you do is appreciate that we can't grow all the time. Nature doesn't stress out, right? She grows, she consolidates. There's that ebb, there's that flow. At the moment, she's hibernating, but that's it, that she's got a plan. So we don't need to stress out, because every year you can work on a certain energy of your life. Like I'm in a 4-year, it is slower and it is about health, and the universe does shine a light on anything that's weak in structure and you need to fix it. But then when you go into a 5-year, which is about change and freedom and adventure and growth, then you've got that structure, that automation, that systems behind you. So yeah, that's what I think that's what I meant with regards to you can't bat 100 all the time. And a lot of people think they can, but the growth and consolidation piece is really important.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's what's really interesting. And I think the thing about numerology, working with business, it gives you a whole new aspect to what you're doing. And I know that when I was looking to launch my book, we talked about what dates would be the best dates for that, which was really interesting.
Definitely dates for events, dates to launch books, pricing, the energy of your pricing, what that vibrates to. And it's all about target energies, because everyone tries to chase 8, because 8 is the shape of it, infinity and abundance and success and wealth. But if the target energy is connection and emotion, that's 2. Or the target energy is communication, that's 3. If the target energy is community and tribe, that's 6. So it's good to look at the target energy and then work around that rather than just chasing 8, especially if the person questioning hasn't got 8 in their chart. So yeah, that's one of the things I try and ground it, because we can go down rabbit holes. You can imagine what I get tagged into. I've had a dream, I've seen 1.2 to the power of 4. What's it mean? You've had a dream, you've seen 1.2 to the power of 4. So I try and make it all quite grounded, and I've done that through the sessions. They're not like all over the place, they're very 4-4, born on the 4th of the 4th.
No, definitely. Yeah, and I think that's one of the things about numerology. I guess when I first started talking to you, I wasn't sure whether it was going to be a bit woo or whether it was going to be more. And actually, the thing, working in financial services, numbers are really kind of my thing. So it was really logical for me as well. And I think when we went through the traits as well that go with each number, it was really fascinating, both positive and negative traits, how similarities were there. So obviously I'm a 9, and the 9 traits were like, it was like, yeah, that's really, really me. I can see myself there, which is quite, in a way, quite scary in some respects.
My main clients who I go in and go deeper with their teams are either financial services or accountants, because they understand that numbers are magic, because they work with them all the time. And my intuition has gone off the scale since working with numbers, and yours will too, all these years, because they are magic, and because the accountants and financial services, they do, it's interesting that they're my main clients for going in or going to that deeper level with regards to Bizology teams. And I love that.
Yeah, no, that's really, and that's interesting. I hadn't realized that a lot of your clients were all money based as well, but that does make sense, because I think working with numbers, it just was more logical as well. And it was quite fascinating to see, working out what my husband was and seeing how that related. It's like the other side of doing your star signs, isn't it, slightly?
Yeah, definitely. So astrology looks to the stars, numerology looks to numbers. But with astrology, there's loads of kind of all the planets, all the houses, the conjuncts, like Saturn return, Chiron in this planet, and it can be quite confusing. And I think with numerology, there's less reference points, so there's less confusion, and the less confusion, the less delusion. And that's been one of my main things, that although I love a bit of woo, I want to keep it grounded. I want to keep it accessible. I want to keep it so you can pick your report up in 6 weeks, 6 years, 16 years, and it still makes sense, because it's not a one and done. Every time you go back and have a look, you'll see something that you weren't available for the time before. Because like you've identified just now, we are the negative of our numbers, and anything else is just guidance. And if we can pull those up like weeds in a garden, then we can move forward.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, and looking at the negatives is really interesting to see. Yes, those traits are me, but also looking at the positives and then concentrating more on that side as well, which is then obviously is how you move forward. There, definitely, it was very good.
Yeah. One thing I like to do as well, it's a bit of fun, but also you can see it through a different lens, is to show a well-known person or a famous person or a celebrity. So like 9, it's textbook Gandhi or Mother Teresa, because it's about helping, but it's also maybe Adele or Robbie Williams. Because so Adele, recently in Vegas, Julie's just come back, but she's got the residency, and some of the bigger casinos, they give tickets to the high rollers as gifts, don't they? But she didn't want that to happen, because she wants her fans there, and that's very 9. So you can see it playing out.
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't realize that actually. But yeah, I knew Adele was going to be on. Yeah, we got announced when we were in Vegas. So yes, I did see she was coming. I like that. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And you'll vibrate with that. You'll resonate with that because of the 9-ness.
Yeah.
And then when Robbie Williams is a 9, but Gary was a 3. So Gary's interested in making music and performing, right? 3 energy, communication. But Robbie would have been more interested in taking it around the world, maybe going to some poorer countries, maybe doing some charity gigs. So then you can start to see the conflict and where people are coming from. It's always interesting. I didn't watch it this year, but I've watched it in the past. Something like I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. And I worked out all the numbers, and not 3 years ago, most of them were 3s, because in the negative of 3, they want publicity, but they don't care what it is. So lots of authors, lots of actresses is 3 energy.
Yeah.
And 3 is about having a good time. But the negative of 3 is they're going to say something like ranting energy. So yeah, the 1 energy, Julie's working with 1, I'm a 1. It's like Gaga, Stormzy, Steve Jobs, James Corden, Stacey Dooley. You can see it. So then it's quite a good exercise to pair people up with numbers, and I do it in my marketing. So then you can see a famous person, read a little bit about them, and then say, oh, they're this life path 6.
Yeah.
But the number that's easier to pick up in somebody's energy is the date they're born on. So with Julie, it's the 1, which is the leader, and with me, it's 4, the workaholic.
Good at paperwork. So yeah, I think I need to employ lots of people who are good at paperwork in the office, don't I?
Yeah, so 4, if they've got 4 energy, that's really great. Now it's interesting. I've done about 400 of these sessions, some longer ones, like 3 months, or some one-off sessions, but I've never worked with the Life Path 4 until a couple of weeks ago. Because 4, if I'm on stage or at an event, there would be no 4s in the room, because they would think it's rubbish, because 4 kind of looks down, computer says no, they work really hard. But I worked with a 4, and it was really interesting, because because I can be a little bit 4, even though I'm not a 4, especially in this 4 year. But it was interesting. There's no famous 4s that I found, because they're all 22s, which is a master number, and they're here to change the world of one person at a time, like Oprah, Meghan Markle, Bill Gates, Branson, Trump. It's big energy.
Yeah.
Positive and not so positive.
Yeah, I've got 2 22s in the office when we went through it. So yeah.
And some 22s don't activate the 22. They stay in 4. But a good example of 22 is Ant Middleton, because he's born on the 22nd. So he's like 22 on steroids.
Oh, wow.
And
yeah.
And the A for the ant is quite a strong letter. It's not really going anywhere. It thrusts itself into the world. The A words are like ambition, action, adventure, and it's got a bar in the middle. It's not toppling over. So you can see, that's why it's good to use famous people as reference points, because you can see what's going on.
Yeah, no, that's really good. So yeah, I think one of my 22s is definitely a 4. So yeah.
Yeah.
So no, that's really, really interesting. No, that's great, Jo. No, thank you very much. It's really great to sort of chat through numerology. And I think, it gives it wasn't an area that I'd really sort of knew a lot about until we met. I just think it's such a fascinating topic, and it's so accurate when you look at what your numbers are. And it's just been, certainly for me, it's just all just clicked into place and certainly made sense. So it's definitely a really interesting topic, and I've really enjoyed learning more about it. It's been really good.
Oh, thank you. It is being a bit, but like anything, it's becoming more popular. All of these esoteric energies are, like astrology, like moonology, like palmistry. It's becoming more popular. So it can get a bit dumbed down, which is something that I'm really passionate about, making sure people get it right. So I've got free apps on my website and things, so you can get it right. I urge people not to go down a Google rabbit hole, because then they're going to get things wrong. Then they think they're a 2 but they're 11, or they think they're a 22 but they're a 4, So it's important to check your sources and make sure that you get reputable information, because otherwise people think, well, that's not me. Well, no, it's not.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And they're missing an opportunity to understand themselves on a deeper level in life and business.
So, Jo, if anyone wants to actually get in touch with you and find out some more, whereabouts can they find you?
If they go to josoley.com, www.josoley.com, that's my website. And there's a podcast on there. There's lots of free resources on my Get or Start Here page, and they can just kind of not go down rabbit holes, but engross themselves in the world of bizology.
No, that's absolutely fantastic. So thank you so much for joining me today. And Jo, it's been fantastic working with you, and I've really enjoyed it. Hopefully, if anyone's interested in numerology, I would highly recommend checking out Jo's website and find out what your life path number is, and just see how much it resonates with you. And it's definitely worth doing. So I definitely recommend it. So
thank you.
No, thank you so much.
And with that, we've completed today's episode. We hope you have enjoyed following along with us today and taking another step closer to a financially secure future.
If you've enjoyed today's podcast, you can head over to themoneycompass.co.uk, where you can find out more information, hints and tips from today's episode.
If you'd like to get more involved, share your own experiences and learn from a friendly community on a similar journey to you, why not join us in our Facebook group, The Money Compass, where we will support you in navigating your way to financial success.
Thank you for listening, and see you next time.